Adam. Yeah. I just school girl no wako faba. After the professor and so sako faba. Na any school girl I go faba. After the professor and so sako faba. Ya jemu anye ye. And you ever can curriculum at 7 years. Yeah. Sir. Sir. Yeah. I just me na meet square me see pump who can pump head and then I'm boom who can pump head na me boom me said that I just nanso so me fi school ebe fie me di me hu eye madwuma bra me ye me hu kakra fi computer ho me call afuom me ye me irrigation project be hwe me na afi de me modify pump ewe foam me na me modify pump and a sprinklers in nkeka ho ewe foam na so bra me was classroom no masa me ntia se kapre yeah. Yo. Actually, for Yanama Kunyasu, Achia Obibia, Yanama say, and then so do Akumapa Maji Awa to Mufia Betua ye addition so. Na senior can maybe added the pass, Yanya Jatum say, yes, you are dear. And Yaka idea we are Musumo Akunya say, Uber Shemwa dear, and Rajine, such a Pimon chain. Na school some and I can share Yanina and Yamabrono qua and penning fonts so our moko as your prominence so near a chair or no one semna Yakofaba ye Jema and ye because your faha now we are Piafa. Your John Fiha now we are Piafa and one honey as insane. And Tiene, a best idea and home above Bocatra. Nene, a betty. Last 2 weeks or so, yet ye, dear schoolgirl Biaka, I was cool, and I be said, now when to walk off him by. I feel the ene, me pesa yes, I bought another one. I professor Muankasa, near no Susunanum Tom, near Walker. Na yam found to schoolgirl no, and Susundiam, near he said, na koya and I say by. Or no, any share and there. Good evening, listeners, and thanks once again for receiving us in your homes with your hearts love. Excuse me. As we continue in our studies of keys to the kingdom. As usual, it's a great pleasure. We all understand we are studying together. When we have shared our thoughts, you also have the opportunity to share your thoughts. We also learn something from you. And all the laughter is all about the fact that we've been for over a month now looking at the issue of curriculum. Excuse me, it looks like I've been over laughing, eh? We'll be looking at the issue of curriculum, and last 2 weeks or so we played a clip by a schoolgirl, and we were wondering where this girl got all this from. Lashing at the elite for creating the problems for the mob roars to come and solve. Here again we have another clip from a professor somewhere down South Africa or so, and what he's also saying as an advice to the young ones who have just completed university and what we go out to do, And his question is, isn't it better to stop educating people? If we only educate thieves, then we must as well stop the education altogether, because it is the best taught or the well taught who come out to commit the high level crimes. So today, let's listen to what he has to say, and then we will take the discussion from there. Adjust, are you able to play, or I play from here? You'll play it out. Okay. Please.
With some people in town in Lusaka, I said, you know, when I look around and I look around the cases in town that we have of people that have been charged with cases of corruption, it is not people from the village. It is us with the degrees. The high-profile cases that are in contention in the courts of law, it is not for a villager from Wingu. It is us that have tested the Manila paper. It is us that have known the figures. It is us that have read Aristotle. It is us that have studied psychology. It is us who have studied the principles of accounts. It is us. And I ask myself a question. If education is producing thieves, why then should we continue to educate them? If the country today is wrestling with the issue of corruption because of people that went to school, the question that begs an answer is, why should we continue to educate? Cases that are in contention in the courts of law, it is not for a villager from Wingu. It is us that have tested the Manila paper. It is us that have known the figures. It is us that have read Aristotle. It is us that have studied psychology. It is us who have studied the principles of accounts. It is us. And I ask myself a question. If education is producing thieves, why then should we continue to educate them? If the country today is wrestling with the issue of corruption because of people that went to school, the question that begs an answer is, why should we continue to educate? Because it means the more we educate, the more thieves we produce.
I just don't know what to say. If education is producing thieves, then why do you continue to educate? Therefore, we should ask ourselves, how come that our education is producing thieves? Therefore, enyeme na meka wo. Ope mu a wosu apon mu a wo kira de as wo pon school kola omboko fie akwakoye adwuma degree omukuta degree na obisa mo asem all no to omufo no se ko ba no se ya ko suku aba last 2 weeks school girl no ka said den o si wona omuko school a omu odin no omu na omuko creative problems. Omu na muko creative problem na omu a yesi omu school no enye no na omu aba ebe tasi ena professor I all trade was your poem onu susu obisa say say you see yena yako school deri yena nearby be corruption yena na ya dani ehu kronfobian for na se koba say ebe ko school na say if school school ayekwa wie say ya course you upon wie na say ye ba na say kronwa na ebe bo a ene infaswell be na ewo school kono eho asema wo bisa no o say hwe say ye hwe anu ye se beba no saa dia na kire say school na ngasa ehu hia say ye nko bio because after all ye koba kronwa na ebe bo nti asambisa no say say na ye ni ekọ die ye kire ye manu wo school no ho na mpanyampa say ye manu amuko school ba ye no omu na omu nim say ye chiro 100 now the 0 to a chia ebedani 1000 enti omu di koka ho na omu ayi 900 no e di ahye omu botom sanete nti dien na ye che ye nkola no na ye ayeye awofo no nsusu no ahwehan bi na se ahweyiye be na ye wo ade hwe se ne ye kire ye manom no so mu hwe school a dien obra omba bebo no papa anase enye papa se akoba no se ene media akọ aba na se enye a o se mpe ho asem bi ka ochina na obedience ankotom. The question that is begging for answer here is, if it is us who have gone to the high schools, who have got the best education, who are committing the high level crimes, those of us who know the figures, those of us who are accountants, those of us who are psychologists, if we are committing the high level crimes that you go and find out in court on such cases, then the question is, why should we continue education?
also
The high-profile cases that are in contention in the courts of law, it is not for a villager from Wing. It is us that have tested the Manila paper. It is us that have known the figures. It is us that have read Aristotle. It is us that have studied psychology. It is us who have studied the principles of accounts. It is us. And I ask myself a question. If education is producing thieves, why then should we continue to educate them? If the country today is wrestling with the issue of corruption because of people that went to school, the question that begs an answer is, why should we continue to educate? Because it means the more we educate, the more thieves we produce.
The more we educate, the more thieves we produce. I assume. I just because you see there is this saying, if that is so to say, but others that if you have so many people talking about the same, on your school teacher nekasao, and your school teacher nekasao. Now me bisa me who say offer sa dream no fi and all can sem kesi a walker. Where did she get all these things from? And here this is being supported by this professor, this aged professor, not in Ghana but somewhere down South Africa. He is also, or Southern Africa, is also saying things to support what this young girl has said in Ghana. So, if we are thinking about our youth and the future generation, then the question is, what kind of society are we building up for the future through the education that we are giving to our youth? Say, na ye shishe, Mamika say, school girl na okasa, or a school girl, on your woman, on your school teacher. Na me who send ya baby alco fast and 7 feet. Extra man no na all campoa. Mr. Meka says, Senya o kasa. Senya odini mu e kasamponu. Senya o ye ni hu edi ka nsem no mponu. Uba hu se asem a o ka no se o bi na o ka hye no se onko campo a otiase. Otiasem na se ena ojitum ansan na wo ka. We enye poetry reciter. This is not a poetry recital that this young girl is reciting. And I'm saying, even if it was written for her to recite, the gestures and the mannerism and everything, the everything show that she has actually imbibed the thing. She understands it and she's ready to associate herself with what she's saying. And now, the aged professor is also talking and hitting the same points that this young girl also spoke about. What did the young girl say? I could not see the Musi school can say school AGD. And I'll catch himself here. School AGD, a show. A show now, moye. Omo pediaji. Ye pe square. Obe training kola. Ombe dimu. Omo abadai. Enye show. Na school obe hwese akola bia no. When you be calling home, no be at me after school num a okita bibi a okwa okwakoye. Onu na ehia. Na nye show. And now can say after all, school now omo ye show no say omo na modi mu crampo no. I be say school boy na work krasi a obi afi hoye president da. I just say onim bi. And answer na all catch some say crassi for. Ye ni ma de. Nanso mu mu say mu na mudimu no. Mu na mu ko school papa no. Mu wi a na mu akọ asema ko gu ho ma yen. Na ye no ya ba be prapra. Se be twitwi o. Se de o. Na be siesie. Nanso mu na mu kokọ create problem no. E ma yen. Ono na nti mudi mu no nuamu ya ne se mudi problem na eto ho na ye no ya ba na be prapra na be scrub ho it is support in this seminar near the akashan aka ho just that one and the two you know the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, suffering in the land. So and ode kwa na Bible so say to them that have shall more be given, and to them that have not, even that which they have shall be taken from them. But of course, that is talking about those who have light. Then more light will be given to you. We find ourselves in a society where the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And I said the last time, and I repeat again, that the economic theory that we are running in schools, even not just schools, that we are using to run our nations. Let's go back to the roots. It's all about the elite society, the survival of the fittest. And I said last week that there are scripture references which give the indication about the issue of people having to eat up their children. And let me, for example, quote Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 53. It says, "Then you shall eat the offsprings of your own body, the flesh of your sons and of your daughters, when the Lord your God has given you, whom the Lord your God has given you, during the siege and the distress by which your enemy will oppress you." So when we allow ourselves to get in a state where oppression comes, then people will resort to eating their children. Unfortunately, in this theory of the elite, it is not a matter of everybody getting his child to eat. It is a matter of those who think that they deserve to be around, and therefore they don't have to be hungry. So no matter what you are, so long as they think that you don't deserve to live, they will have to get you to be on their table for meal. They want population control so that they alone will be on the earth to enjoy. Enjoy what? What did you create? And I'm asking myself, So these people, they don't think they will ever die. Or they have some recipe that if they eat human flesh, they will live alive. They will live forever. And therefore they've turned themselves into cannibals in their human trafficking, putting children through all manner of things, getting all manner of extras through threats of fear onto these innocent children, and drinking their substance. Business. We are in a world where things are tumbling down by our sides, and we are so happily dancing instead of paying attention to what is happening around us. Etiefo. Na yankola numa ye ti se ye chichi nkola mu koton obabi no na den pa na omudi ye. Da be na watina se abisa won se den pa na omudi ye. Den pa na omudi ye. Die koso die edima ye titi ene se omo fi se niema binimu wo ho a se ye di nipa say FM yetumi twi ne hu nsuo bi na obinim de ye omoduani a omofe say ono no omudi a omanyi omuwu afi de si u to ade wo internet soon kwa se wonnim a ebia ya advertise bibi omo amunim sa de no omo na omunim se nipa na yeton wo a wonnim no wonnim se nipa na yeton omo code amu yusu se pese etia ye beti se pese ye kan ho asem a ene ya ankasa jejereje so pese o ye mpese mu wo abefo ntintan so a wo betumi akwa akoye na me be kasa mi na me kan mi so mi hu no mi so mi research na me de hu na wo say e ma ye ni enda ho dien na ye kire yen screw kwala no professor no wasi dien omo amusua psychology omo na omo kwa amukosua krono omo ko bo krono omo amusua philosophy Aristotle ne nkeka ho mu nsem omo na amukobo krono wa ho adjuster bibi wo ho aye frɛ no reverse psychology bi wo ho na obi ema me message say sa de we minti ase den obinim wo ho a se omo pese wo ye bibi a de omo di be ye wo ne se omo be mentumi ho se me ka se defe mi na be ye asem no papa wo on be ye ne se wo be feel se sa di we wontumi nye na nipa no o kanu senya be ya wo be ka se metumi aye na wakwakoye wahu or the psychology and ewe wo enti se nipa no akọ school na wakosua psychology na se opese all the psychology no di wiwa obetumi dia we. It all depends on how the person is going to use his psychology to manipulate you. That is it. So, listeners, the point here we're trying to bring out is this. Let us let our attention go onto what our children are being taught in the schools. Let's help ourselves to understand what really they are. And my Osofo will say, all the things that we are teaching in the schools, how much do we teach our children of life? How much are we teaching our children in school about the purpose of life? All that we are teaching is how to go out and make the big money. Hopefully. But are we teaching them about the purpose of life? Etiefo, ye banu mo ko school, omo ko sua ade. Na ne ye kire omo school no. Aso omutumi enyansua efi de ni senti ayeba asase so hu ana. Because if you say yaba asase so de buta bi nti na di bae na hona na e kire yen. And one say 1 + 1 = 2. Asan. And one say utumi defe nipa say na wanya de upe efin nchen. Asan. Na nipa no sua woni wura we na say wan sua if I say intiti pa bia odi sa tre no be ye ade papa. Sinka nufenu de ewo hoi etwa ha na atwa ha de nipa no epe e na oditwa eko nti adikire na adesua ewo hoi ni papa ewo ho ni boni ewo ho ni nyina ye kire Garden of Eden yesin den edua mienu bi wo ho baaku ye nkwa edua ena baaku eye boni ena papa ne dua titia wanya ansa na okodi dua no ntitia wanya ansa na okodi dua no enhye se dua no ye ntumi ndida nemom ewo se wonya ntitia bi ansa na wakodi say can say ye the screwdriver e dey bue computer enti who create screwdriver there na computer bi a wanya hu pe na kro na wabue ubia o say wo buta papa bi anti na wo bue na nye say yesi ye bue keke na wabua say ato ho na wo call baby. The tree of good, the knowledge of good and evil, it is there. One day you definitely eat it, but you've got to be prepared to eat it before you touch it. Otherwise, you know good and you know bad. And if your thought is not trained, you will go and be focusing on the bad thing because you know how to destroy. And you think you have enemies to kill. So you go and be using the bad side to be destroying them. That is why there's the command not to eat the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And I'm saying it does not mean it will never ever be eaten, but it will be eaten by someone who is an initiate, someone who has been trained and drilled to be able to make use of that information rightly. As you create, you must know how to uncreate. I've said this in a lecture here before. You create, you must know how to uncreate. You build a house, you must also equally know how to demolish the house. Because one day, there may be the need to demolish that house for a good reason. But you don't go demolishing houses simply because you know how to demolish houses. That becomes wickedness. It is not for any good purpose that you are doing that. You are just doing it because you know how to demolish and you are angry and you are demolishing. Listeners, I want us to have sufficient time for you to come on board this train. So I think I would like to pause off at this point and we open the phone lines so you can come in and share your thoughts, or if you have any questions to ask, you can ask, and we'll see how we proceed with responses to them.
All right, your number is 0240-358-182, 0240-358-182, and I feel 0533-100066, 0533-100066. I have Pink 96.9 FM with perfect church universe and telephone. Hello. Yeah, when you didn't say now, who free? What's it?
Pink FM 96.9.
Oh, okay. Yeah, too.
I hear that people also with program.
You might read your name for near to Casani.
Say now, I came by from the pocket. Professor,
Sorry. Mr. Agbeshi. Hello?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, now we can hear you. We can hear you. Oh, no. Mr. Agbeshi, you can call back or you can call the other line. 0533 100 school for ya near Numwesi, baby. Abrimpontana bia ewe ejumedie mu Ghana na corruption na cause omano maboy ka tu ya ka bubro ya yesi Ghana di school for ya omo nko school omo nka ho omo nko school omo nka ho until then I was still producing school for hello. All right, now it's okay. Yeah.
You see, that professor said more kind. You know, me that school came to. You said nothing more to kind. In fact, they are saying, very powerful, very. I'm not confused. I'm not so distressed. But the point is, I am pas, before the whole West, even let's say in Africa, because maybe from the part side is different than Africa to know. Africa, before who will be
Pink FM 96.9.
Area city. Minister, say we are not minister. Oh, Bohusta, oh, approaching. We are talking after bank. After they use to African war. And again, they found that any colony, DB position, board position, now we position, to the point that they are decapitated now, the point. In fact,
Okay, yes, yeah, that was it. Mr. Agbeshi de Nikase Eba Formano. And Reverend, yes, also, a book out school who are free. Oh, my, yeah, to do a more baby. Reverend, against you.
Oh, goodness.
You sound so free. I'm home. Your mom access.
No, Adjuster.
Sally is wrong.
Yes, adjuster. Free, no. One annum no equal free school. No. One annum and equals free school. No. Would you say penning for a more my mobile or mobile or mobile Saskui? You see, when you know, you cannot as a model, we are just modeling behavior or things happening around us. So let's take it in that perspective of the modeling. Wa unim na ma wedi. Ena obiawe ma Kita School Boys. Ena wa catch you say Kita School Boys no very nutritious. Esun kitiwa o unibi ye de ama o weni agi ane bibia nse wo ho nanso nipa odi ma o no eye o there's nothing wrong with Kita School Boy. In fact, if you eat it for the rest of your life, perfect, there's nothing wrong. But the point me said nipa na odi sa de no bre wo no, is it true say one who say eye pa enti na odi ma wo ana say on pese unini compete echo win ntwinam? I'm creating a model on pese who ko win ntwinam ori be compete no enso no enti one who say Kita School Boys ye good no or say oh Kita School Boy eye pa o any kra ye hwin say wo ho enti on that line no what they are well because why can't nukre kakra achrew na nukre na o kan achrew no eye boa payo senia obetwe wa adwen afi bibi eso. That's right. Senia obetwe wa adwen afi ho. Like I'm saying, I'm trying to model something here. There is nothing wrong with eating Kita School Boy for the rest of your life. In fact, you will live better off than a person who is eating Nenchi or the beef. But the point I'm making, modeling here, is that is the person really telling you the Kita School Boys are nutritious because he is really selling you the nutritious dish, or he is telling you a little truth to keep you away from something else, which I am modeling in this case as a beef? Like I said, if you give me Kita School Boys for the rest of my life, I will clap for you. There is no gain saying eating beef every day. But there's somebody who thinks that Kita School Boys, me part to eat Kita School Boys. Masa, and then you see, Yokegari. Ona omunisika onomundi Yokegari. Yeah, there are three former President Rawlings and they say it's Sunny Dean, and I have friend who Gobe because after the Yokegarino, AGD, but some time ago, no, you see, and yet, anti-AGD say, no, next anti, the mechanic say, and he say, dear. 24% mudi Gobe. I am friend with Yokegari. Because Yokegari no a mobro for Omudia. Until Mama and Sister Dino Mano. Mama and Sister Dino Mano. That is my philosophy on this one. So Gobe is being advertised everywhere. Yokegari Ayasa. Because Yokegari here for dia, Gobe sika for dia. You see? So, I was saying a little truth, and they are using the little truth, the small truth, to keep you away from a bigger truth. Then you are entrenched here, and they have a motive. So whatever is going on, we shouldn't just see that, oh, this is nice, oh, this is true. Go further to find out whether it is the absolute truth or it is just simply a relative truth. Dear Obiabe Kasha Biano, Hushem, Pensepesem Kakra, Nebisa will say, in some air can't shame me, and no great rodo, and the air can't shame me. And I say, the air can't shame me, no, and no crack a cra. And the air can't shame me. If you say, Yadi BB, A. See me. At ye for ono one semina, ye can. Still, phone lines no, ye be.
Okay, Abroka, it's you.
The question is, if you guys to the Christian and the answer is no. Yes, and say, sorry, I sorry about the yellow. If they are still at the house, a baby bunny, but you just make a set. I can't say, shoot, I not see guy, the PA guy. I don't feel out what kind of free education is. It started from somewhere. It said, get a far, Mahama.
You started free education.
Contribution, a professor on the right higher. True movie, Reverend, what can say, now you are for say, complete the political express. And all about
I hate side, no political.
I said, what can be related? Yeah, both who can any idea of everyone. I said, oh, I won't be concerned. I didn't be concerned. It's not from somewhere. I'm to tell you to one carry the boy. If you remember, no, I all to down the platform. After physical and spread right, you can. Thank you.
Sure, say we political beer. We there's a political beer. And the professors they can't, no, I analyze, yeah, they are two guy in a boo boo. We their political beer anymore, bra. We their political beer anymore. Because, no, Professor no so one can sound for more school.
Right. You see, anything American say, we are analyzing all these things and you create a model. You see, as you discuss an issue, you put what you are discussing into a context. Now who the echoes. Now, Sebe can say political, if you talk about elite, who is coming up to own up that he is an elite? If we talk about free education, the context you said the free education was that if education is producing thieves, as the professor said, now we are supporting further education with free education. In other words, you are saying that they're talking about free education is if we want to control people coming out of school to be doing bad things, then we should make them